children. Any children want to come with me? We're going to go on a little walk over here. Is that okay? Come in and fill up around here. We've got some chairs, but we can stand around them. I want you to have a look up at this window. Hi. Come on, crowd in a bit closer. In the gospel story today, Jesus is going to tell his friends that he's leaving to go and be with his Father, where all of his words come from. But because he leaves, he's going to send the Spirit, who's going to come alongside them and keep them company and be their friend and remind them of things and defend them and look after them. So I wanted to bring you to this window because in the gospel we have the Father and Jesus the Son and the Spirit, and this is a window that teaches us all about that. So I wanted to show you that. Is that okay? So have a look at the top. At the top we have a funny shape. Can you see the funny shape? It looks kind of like maybe like an axe or a hammer in the middle of the sun at the top. Can you see it? Yeah, it's a Hebrew letter. It's the letter Yod, and it's the first letter of the word for God's name in Hebrew. And around it there's a sun, and underneath it, can you see the moon on the left at the bottom? Just there, and surrounding it there is water. That's all about God creating the world. God made the sun, the moon, the stars, the world, and everything in it. And in the middle there's an eye. Can you see the eye? It's way up there. You see the triangle, the three-sided shape? There's an eye in there. That's God's eye looking at us and checking in and seeing how we're doing. But also the triangle reminds us of the Trinity. God is a father or a parent. God is a son or a child. And God is spirit, the three things that we think about God. Underneath, if you keep going down, there's this funny shape. It's like a cross with a P at the top. Can you see the P in the middle? It's a bit of a funny shape because it's a bit of Greek text. And you know we sometimes call Jesus Christ? Yes? That comes from Greek. And that letter in the middle is the first two letters of the word Christ. So that big red bit in the middle means Jesus. And on the left, there is a little interwoven crown with thorns in it and some nails, because we remember that Jesus died. On the right, do you know what this is? Can anyone guess what that is? What's that? A fruit? I mean the little red circle on the side with the little kind of dots in the middle. What do you think it might be? It's a fruit. It's a pomegranate fruit. And it means that even though sometimes things die, they can come back to life. So like some plants, they die down at winter, they come back to life in the spring. So the pomegranate fruit reminds us that Jesus comes to life again. If we keep on going down, what do you think this big thing is down here? A what? The bird, yeah. What kind of bird do you think it might be? Well, it's meant to be a dove, but in its wings you can see the yellow, which could look like a flame. So this is a reminder of the Spirit. You know that we sometimes talk about the baptism of Jesus and the Spirit comes down on Jesus' head like a dove? That's the dove. And out of his mouth, there are like flames coming out. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense because it's a big metaphorical picture. But the flames and the dove are the Spirit. And around it, can you see there's another blue kind of swirl? That's because it's a reminder of baptism. So this window tries to teach us a lot about what we think about God. God creates the world. God helps us to connect back to God's self by Jesus dying and rising again. And God sends us the Spirit to be with us. And that's the thing that I really want to finish thinking about. We're told in the gospel that the Spirit is like an advocate, but really the word is, the Spirit is one who comes alongside. Have you got anybody that comes alongside you at any point? Who comes and stands next to you or hangs out with you? Your best friend? Maybe? Or a teacher? Or a parent? The Spirit is like anybody that comes alongside us to help us, to teach us, to look after us. If we're sad and we're crying, they're the kind of person that puts their arm around us and holds us. So the Spirit is like the comforter. And we're thinking about that a bit in the gospel today. But I want to say to you, if the Spirit of God comes alongside you and puts his arm around you or her arm around you and comforts you and loves you, do you think that you might be somebody that could come alongside one of your friends this week if they get sad or lonely or scared? And could you comfort them? Everyone's a bit quiet. I may have overwhelmed you with Trinitarian theology. Is that okay? If you can, love a friend this week, come alongside them and comfort them and love them, then you'll be doing God's work. And it'll be a wonderful thing. Thank you for listening so well. Do you want to head back to your families?